Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I wanted to do hopefully just a quick video. Wanted to give you a few tips and some insights into kind of how I implement my healthy lifestyle into, sticking with the budget and being conscious of spending and not wasting food, which is something that's just a big issue for me. I hate wasting food. So just a little background for you guys. Many of you know, I've shared a little bit about my background. I didn't grow up, with a lot of money, and we were we had to be very savvy with what we spent and how we spent our money. So my mom was an amazing cook, and she did the best she could with what she had, and so she improvised a lot. And so she used what we had, and we never wasted anything because she's always coming up with new ways to make things based off of what we had available and what we could afford. So I've kind of taken her mentality of utilizing what we have and not wasting food, but with a healthier spin on it, because obviously back then we used bacon fat and bacon grease to cook with, and you never wasted any of that stuff. And so there was lots of things that I learned that I've been able to kind of transfer into what I currently do. People say that I just seem to naturally be savvy at this stuff, and it's not that I'm savvy, it's just that I've learned to be aware of how to put things together and not wanting to waste food. I had to find ways to when I would buy my groceries and stuff, have them so that I would use them and not waste them. So that's hard to do sometimes when you buy in bulk, which is what I do a lot of the time, just because it is more cost effective to buy bulk, especially when I like to buy organic. I don't always buy organic, but sometimes you can get some really great deals at Costco and even Sam's Club with organic bulk produce and things like that. But sometimes it's hard to go through all of those before they start to go bad. So I have found different things that I've been able to freeze that maybe I didn't think of freezing before. One of the things that I think many people like to buy, especially if you blend them in your shakes, is a big bag of spinach leaves. But a lot of times within a couple of days it starts to go bad, and then you end up throwing a big bag of spinach away. So I like to, if I do that, I don't always buy the big bags, because sometimes I like to just buy a smaller bunch, and have it that way. But you can divide up the spinach bag, the large bag, and keep some in your refrigerator, and then freeze the rest. Now, another thing that I'm trying to do is also not use so many baggies and not waste a bunch of plastic bags. Plus, I don't like using plastic, but it's so convenient, so I'm trying to teach myself not to do that. So I have some spinach leaves here that they're starting to kind of get bad, so I'm gonna have to use them or freeze them. So I'm going to freeze them in my Pyrex glass container with the lid, and that way I'm going to save on plastic. I'm not going to use up any plastic, and this is airtight. It's still going to freeze the same as if I put it in a plastic baggie, and then it's easy enough to store in the freezer just like this. The other thing that I like to make up a big batch of, because I like to buy in bulk, and then I'll bake up my sweet potatoes. And I eat sweet potatoes almost every day, but still sometimes it's hard to go through a large batch of sweet potatoes. So again, these can be frozen. What I did is I have some here that I've already cut up, and I've just cut them up into basically rings. And I keep the skin on because I like the skin. And I'm going to freeze these in a container, and again with an airtight lid, glass Pyrex container. So again, these are going to stack in my freezer. They're not going to take up a ton of space. I'm not wasting anything, and I've got them to pull out for use another time. So that's the other tip. Another thing that I've been really enjoying lately is coconut water. And I buy the refrigerated coconut water, and again, it's cheaper to buy a larger quantity, but I don't use that much. And it says right on the container to use it within 3 days. Well, I'm not going to use it within 3 days, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze the rest into ice cubes. And what I like to do with it is put it in my shakes anyway, so those ice cubes are perfect for adding to my shake. The other thing you can do with the spinach, if you use it for shakes, is you can make it into ice cubes as well, which is what I like to do with fresh mint and other herbs that also tend to go bad after a few days. Break it up, put it in with some water, and freeze it into your ice cube trays. So that's another tip. And the other thing that I actually just discovered and I have not tried yet, but and I didn't love that I had to buy these in these little containers, but this is hummus that I found at Costco, little individual hummus containers, but hummus can be frozen. So I probably will, once I get to the point where these are going to need to be either tossed or frozen, frozen, I will throw these in the freezer, and then I will have these as individual use containers. One of the things I've really discovered with hummus, because I do like them to dip veggies in, but I use this in some dishes that might use like a cheese to make it creamy, and because I try to eliminate dairy, or at least reduce my dairy intake, hummus has been a great substitute for me because it does add that creamy consistency without the dairy aspect. If you're kind of lactose intolerant or you like to eliminate your dairy, hummus is a great option. So guys, those are just a few tips that I wanted to share. You don't want to waste food, but you want to save money on healthy food. So buy in bulk, find ways to use it up, and freeze what you don't use. And to be creative doesn't take a lot of, it doesn't mean that you have some kind of special gift. I don't have a special culinary gift. I just, like I said, I kind of grew up kind of having to use what we had, and so when I buy my groceries, I kind of come up with things. If I have my meal plan, then I'll come up with things based off of what I've planned out. But sometimes for lunches and stuff, I will grab a serving of sweet potato and grab a serving of broccoli and grab a serving of ground turkey and mix it with some salsa, and that's like one of my favorite concoctions, and it literally is a concoction. I just grabbed some things that I had because I portioned out my stuff and threw it together, and I've come up with some crazy but yet delicious, and I've shared them in my groups, and many people are like, oh, I never thought of doing that. Well, I hadn't either until I just kind of threw it together. The whole hummus thing was kind of by accident. I just kind of thought, well, I wonder what hummus would do. So don't be afraid to experiment, because that's kind of, you kind of live and learn. I've made some things that I'm like, I won't do that again, but you don't know unless you try. So you guys, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for those of you that stayed on and listened to me kind of ramble. I just want you guys to know how healthy eating can be cost effective. It can be affordable, and it can be easy enough for you to do. If you're busy, and if you do the meal planning or the prepping, it's going to save you on time. But doing these few things to save that food so you're not wasting food, I think will make you feel better about buying the healthy stuff and not going for the frozen, prepared, packaged items, because that is, like I said yesterday, I talked about the 3 S's: the sugar, sodium, and then your I can't remember what the third S was. It had to do with your mindset, but I had used a term that referred to, it had an S. But anyway, eliminating sodium and sugar is a great way to kind of lean out and get your body ready for summer if that's something that one of your goals is. So having these healthy foods on hand is a great way to do that, and this is going to help you utilize those and have those last longer. So guys, again, thank you so much. Hope you have a great Thursday, and I will be looking forward to sharing some more tips throughout the week and into next week. Take care, guys.